Award of Merit is presented to Patricia Carr for A Murder of Crows. This piece is done with hand embroidery on organza overlaying acrylic on paper. The mood is soft and airy with the great work of lines within the tree. Now the tree is in the background on paper, but there's a pocket of space and the organza is overlaid with the crows. These crows are done with thread, and that's the embroidery on the organza. Organza is a very slippery material, and I admire Patricia's detail when she sewed these on. It is not easy. Also, when you look at the piece and you really look at the tree, you see 2 or 3 crows in the tree, in the soft palette of the tree. The motion of the way the black crows on the organza are embroidered takes your eye throughout the piece. It adds to the movement throughout. The stillness of the tree and the movement of the birds leave the viewer with a feeling of grace and elegance and a peaceful moment. And that is special when you think of a crow. Award of Merit goes to Bonnie Scott for George's Poppy. An optical illusion is beautifully created with a graphic design in red, white, and black. Her technique is strong, with the quilting accentuating each of the lines that are vertical. The space is well defined, and the poppy is a gorgeous bright red, diversified into its layers due to the optical illusions of the inlays that Bonnie has created. The color is harmonious with the strong red, white, and black, but yet the palette is nicely interrupted with the 2 shades of green. The leaf gives a sense of life. Also within it, you will find little rhinestones, and the rhinestones could be a morning dew that has fallen on the leaves or the petal, or it could be a raindrop, as one of the beautiful children from the art camp said, "I think it's a raindrop." The piece is a favorite of many, and when you look at it, it is added to with a 3-dimensional butterfly. The butterfly is strong and rich, and it looks like it is resting in the soft petal of the poppy. Although the poppy is bold, you feel the sense of peace for that butterfly. The beautiful detail is defined by the border. It is a double binding border with an inner layer of the deeper of the greens of the leaf and a black outline, saying this is a moment to be captured and to be captured beautifully. Bonnie did a great job of portraying the aspects of the glorious poppy. Award of Merit goes to Marianne Zielinski for her piece Passages. This art quilt is bold and beautiful with a palette of color adding warmth and mystery. The architecture within the piece, as well as the characters, are highlighted with free motion stitching, bringing out many attributes and characteristics that you normally would not see easily. The perspective is outstanding in this piece, from near to far, from up to down. Beautiful depth perception can be seen. Also, one can see and feel the power of the architecture, the lighting as it goes in between the arches of the building, highlighting the characters. The perceived activity of a person is in the mind of the beholder. Are they coming? Are they going? Are they near? Are they far? Are they staying? What is the reason for them to be at this location? It opens up the mind to thought, and this magnificent portrayal is an example of a beautiful fine art quilt. Gina Ross is a recipient of the Jurors Recognition Award for her art quilt piece, Improva Pelosa. I admire this fine art quilt. It has great color palette and a variety of shapes and forms that formulate the design beautifully. When you look at it, you see rectangles, you see circles curving this way, curving that way, curving this way, and then that way again. You also, if you look at the upper right-hand corner, see squares and rectangles all neatly lined up, and they form a pattern and then an openness as they go out into the white space. But in the lower left-hand corner, you see a similar pattern, but look closely, it's not the same. She's placed them differently. And throughout this quilt, that is what you are seeing. That's what makes it improvisational. It's a spur of a moment thought, a design element that she uniquely created. But more unique about this piece, I selected this piece for this award, not only for its fine technical abilities as an art quilt, but because Gina reached within herself. She tried something new she had never done before. She did it beautifully. Look how lovely the piecing is. All of her points are square and accurate. All of her curves are smooth and intersecting. She did a beautiful job, and then she reached further within herself and chose to enter it into the Biennial National Juried Fiber Show. It takes courage, it takes energy, and it takes time, and it takes money. So I must tell you, Gina, I'm so proud of you for being a prime example of reaching into something new in so many aspects. So congratulations, and it's an honor to have your quilt hanging in the stairwell of the Bauer Center for the Arts. The Jurors Recognition Award is proudly presented also to Linda Black for her piece entitled Cactus One. This piece is tall and diverse. It has a charm all its own, contrasting textures, great lines, and incorporates the materials of wood, PVC pipe, metallic threads, wool threads, batting, upholstery fabric, and even a coarser thread that reveals the spines, the points of a cactus. The ribs are gathered inward, which is the tall, elongated body of the cactus. The crown, which is the top of the cactus, curves nicely at the top, and it beautifully holds the flower, or sometimes a flower on a cactus is called the fruit. This flower is felted. It has a beautiful golden center button of gold, smoothly felted thread. But then it opens up and it shimmers and it shines to reveal the petals of the vibrant flower that the cactus has produced. This piece resonates with stature and grace. It is unique within the body of the work for this biennial fiber show. It is with great pleasure that I present to Elizabeth Schneiders the third place award for her art quilt, She Embodied the Land. This art quilt demonstrates strong graphic design using curves of many sizes and shapes, intersecting and overlapping. The palette is harmonious, and the line work from the fabric meeting fabric and the graceful neckline lends itself forward throughout the body of a woman, but yet bringing her in connection to the sky, the land. They become one. Look closely, and you will see the quilting work. The quilting work follows these lines and brings it all together. The strong line work that is harmonious with that wonderful palette enhances each of the shapes and their movement. The forms are firm, and yet you can see the cloud floating. It's a wonderful example of how to use some simple fabrics, some simple shapes, and formulate a truly graphic design. Congratulations, Elizabeth. It's a lovely art quilt. Congratulations goes to Marika Daru. Her piece, Hats in the Wind, is very unique. It is reclaimed vintage fabrics, hand painted and hand quilted. The hats that are seen are from free motion stitching on water soluble stabilizer overlaying acrylic on paper. The blues and orange in this as complementary colors are gorgeous. The blue, almost a cobalt blue, is bright and saturated. The orange reeks of the terracotta colors that are known in the region. There are pale and there are deeper tones. And yet, both the blue areas and these beautiful terracottas are hand quilted with matching threads. Within the mountain pieces, you can see the threads diverge in different directions, layering the strata of the rock. It took time to do that, I know, and it's so beautifully done. You can feel the elevations, as slight or as deep as they may be, enhanced by the deeper terracotta tones that are splattered throughout the rock formation. I must say that blue sky is enticing. It's solid, it's cool against the warm rock that absorbs the heat of the day. The hats are fun. They're tossing about in the wind. Great movement goes throughout the piece. As they are free, they are round against the straight lines of the strata of the rock. The hand quilting adds an informal touch, but yet a formal pattern of both land and sky. They're in sharp contrast, but they beautifully complement each other. This piece is not bound with a border. It is open. It is a turned edge. Congratulations. Hats in the Wind just makes me happy. And I think everyone who sees it will agree that it's a fine work of art. I am very excited and very pleased because now we're presenting the first place award, the best of show. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. That's what people keep saying when they embrace the work of Katie Rosevere. Tidal Drift is the winner of the Best in Show of this biennial juried exhibition. This piece is just beautiful. As I was in the gallery several times, people would come by. Oh, look! And one woman really shrieked with joy. And beautiful, beautiful, beautiful was said over and over again. This piece is truly water in motion. The color palette from the neckline with the soft ruffle in the beautiful grayed Wedgwood blue silk, which is soft and refined, leads you to the waistline with wool felting done in colors of warmth and laid so strategically to show great movement in golds, greens, blues, and white. That neckline extends down into the bodice of this piece and is free-flowing as it passes the waist area into the lower level with tails done in a beautiful turquoise silk. If you notice, the delicate quality of the silk in the upper bodice is finer and lighter and more transparent than the beautiful turquoise silk in the lower body. But yet, Katie has transitioned between these two silks beautifully with the rich felting wool. She has varied the texture of the wool. She has varied the spacing of the threads of the wool as it is felted. If you look at the right-hand side, you can see across the bodice and the check area a lot of whites and soft yellows and the turquoise and a little bit of the green. But then as you get to the arm area of the shawl, it flows beautifully, almost like an arm of a river, with the deep, deep blue. That is the depth of the water. You can feel it. Also, as you come into the bodice and you have the crisscross of the right and the left area, it is clasped with a beautiful felted flower. and that is done in tones of the gold, the green, and the blue. And yet on the turquoise below it, you can see also some flowers. That tells you the tide is moving and flowers are floating. It's appealing, especially in the summer of 2025 with this glorious heat wave we're having. It's cool, it's inviting, it's passive, it's gentle, it's peaceful. If you look closely, you will see there's a little sparkle and an appointment of where the silk meets some of the felting in the turquoise area. I had the opportunity very carefully with gloves to look at the inside of the piece. And I want you to know, Katie, your work is impeccable. The union of silk and wool was very finely done. The lumps and bumps were smooth, where normally you would see a little bit of a knotting or an overlay. She has worked the area to a fine tune, like a violinist playing a fine concerto. This piece is just stunning. When I first saw the photograph, I couldn't take my eyes off it as a juror selecting pieces for the show. I had the opportunity to come hang the show, and as soon as I saw it, it took my breath away. Every time I came, I told myself, don't go look at that stole or that shawl. Let's look at the whole exhibit. And somehow I could not leave with moments of enjoying every ounce of this piece. Your color transition is strong, very appealing, and your technique, as I said, impeccable. It's with great pleasure and an honor, and you should be very proud that you have been bestowed the best of show, because the entire work of this exhibit is marvelous. Thank you so much, Katie, for bringing to us this wonderful piece.